Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. Today I'm excited to share with you some fun and simple Halloween ideas. I first have these cute, simple treat packaging ideas, which you may have seen before. These are called sour cream treat pouches, and they are perfect when you want to quickly create a lot of cute grab-and-go treat containers. The second thing I want to share is a quick and easy Halloween card that you can make using some of the cute Halloween products that Stampin' Up! Is offering this season. I made these for the TGIF Challenge Blog. Every week on Friday, they post fun challenges to help spark your creativity. There are always a good variety of challenges, from great sketches to fun color combinations and unique themes. If you haven't seen their blog, make sure to jump over and check them out, and I will link it up in the top right corner. I did make this video separately from today's video. So if my voice sounds different or if the lighting is a little different, that is why. Because I originally was just going to post the treat pouches by themselves. But then after making today's card, I thought it'd be fun to combine the two together. So let's go ahead and get started. So the paper that I wanted to use was the 2023-2025 In Color Designer Series paper pack. It just comes in, I think there's 40 papers, and so you get 8 of each color, and there are 2 different patterns. There's 4 different patterns, but 2 papers, because there's 2 patterns on each side. So you get lots of patterns, and I love how these In Colors have kind of that fall feeling to them. So you can really use all of the all of the paper in the pack for these treat pouches. So what you need to do is you're just going to have your 6x6 paper. You don't even need to cut it down. On one side, so this is the side I want on the inside, so it's not the outside side. I'm going to add some tear and tape all the way down one side, and then about 2.5 inches in from the corner, and then about 2.5 inches just in the center. Okay, so it doesn't need to be exact or perfect, but that's kind of how I do it. I'm going to go ahead and remove the long piece along the edge, and that piece gets added to the opposite side. And honestly, this is the hardest part because you don't want to crease your paper. You want to leave it in kind of this tube shape. And it doesn't need to be perfect, so just put it right on there. Then you're going to fold one side, and this is the side where we placed the adhesive right next to the corner. So I'm going to fold right along that edge where I've added, this is the seam here. So fold there and make a nice straight line. And then you're just going to remove the paper backing and fold that. And then you need to fold opposite of that. And the paper kind of automatically goes that way. So you're just going to fold opposite. So the seam is now in the middle. So here the seam is on the edge, and then it goes to the middle. And this is where you're going to fill it up with your candies, and then you can remove the paper backing on that one and close it. Now, sometimes they do pop open, so I do recommend maybe a staple or something here, or I've even seen people crimp it with a crimper, just something to make sure that that doesn't accidentally pop open, because they do tend to sometimes do that. And since you want them to be kind of a quick grab and go, you don't want them to accidentally open. So I'm going to do that again here so you can see one more time where I place the adhesive. So one side down, about 2.5 inches from the corner, and then 2.5 inches in the middle. And just eyeball it. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then roll it and stick it. And then you're going to fold it so that the seam is on one side
and remove your paper. I'm going to grab my Take a Pick tool. That's going to make this a lot easier. And then fold opposite, so now the seam is in the middle. So nice and simple. I love the patterns on these papers. So next we're going to create a fun label to go on the outside. So for my labels, I cut out the largest rounded rectangle die from the new Nested Essential Dies set, which is in the annual catalog or online. And I love this size. I think it's perfect for the stamped images and for this nice large sour cream treat pouch. So to begin, I'm going to stamp with the Pebbled Path ink, and I'm going to have all 5 colors from the in colors on my little tags. So for this one, I want to maybe stamp, let me move these other images. I'm going to maybe stamp it up here in the top right corner. And then for another one, maybe down in the center. So they can be different. They don't have to be the same. So I did that in Pebbled Path. For one of them, I wanted to use this cute branch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's have it kind of swoop down. So something like that. And I'm going to hold that one out. Let's add this little crow onto the branch somewhere. So I'm going to stamp it in the Pebbled Path as well. Maybe just here. That's kind of cute. I'm going to add 1 or 2 leaves, and I'm going to do that for this label in the wild wheat. Maybe I'll do 1 more. It doesn't have to be perfect. So happy Halloween. Maybe I could do a little pumpkin at the bottom with the Moody Mauve color. I've got a little pumpkin. And there's a little tall one. Maybe I'll do that one. Might be too big. Maybe I do a second little pumpkin with the boho blue. Sorry, I turned off my camera, but I stamped a second little blue one there in boho blue. And then I've got a little stem, and I want to do that in the copper clay. And if you don't want to actually stamp, I don't want it to be quite so big. So I'm going to cover up my pumpkin and just do a little bit from the tip of the stem, so that they're just these cute little, tiny little stems on the pumpkins. And I think that tag is all done. And we'll kind of just add it in the corners like that in the copper clay. Here it is. So something like that. Let's do this nice big one, and we'll do that in the boho blue. So I've got a piece of cardstock here, and find my large pumpkin. Because it's on the left side, I'm actually going to stamp it on the right side of my paper so that I can just slide it right in and punch it out. Then I do want the stem. So I'm going to show you. So this is that copper clay. It's going to be at the top. So I'm going to just stamp it right there at the bottom. It's kind of opposite. So if you've got a punch on the top, then you need to stamp on the bottom of your paper. And then there's this really cute little leaf that you can get, and it will punch out too. So it's not the one that we used on the branch, but it's a different one. And I've got a little, I'm going to do that in Moody Mauve on this little strip here. Maybe I'll do two. Okay. It's kind of fun to play around and use the colors maybe in a different way than you're used to. Kind of going with a little non-traditional colors here for fall. I mean, the colors are fallish. Okay, so then you're going to take some glue dots and add them to your images. And I'm going to add them to the front of these little pieces, so that way I can pop them on and build a cute little pumpkin. So I've got my stem, then I'm going to add a leaf. Let's put it on this side, behind, and then I'll do another leaf. Let's just do it down here at the bottom of the pumpkin, kind of like that. And then of course pop that up with a dimensional. Right in the middle over my Happy Halloween. Super cute. All right, so now that we've got our tags made, we're going to add them to our pouches. So I like to punch my hole so where the seam is in the middle. So I'm going to take my hole punch, punch it on the flat side where the seam is. I'm going in about a 1/2 inch. And then you can choose. These ones I created so that I can punch the hole on the left top corner. I could do this one on the right, but I'm just going to do them all on the same side. And then you're going to take a little bit of twine. I'm using the jute trim twine that comes in those same in colors. So I've used the Pebbled Path, Boho Blue, and the Wild Wheat already. So I'm going to use the Moody Mauve and the Copper Clay colors. And you can do 6 to 8 inches depending on how much you want. These ones I did 8 inches. I'll do a couple that are in 6 inches so you can see the difference. They'll just make them a little bit shorter. So I want to do kind of an opposite color. So I'm going to do the Moody Mauve on the Boho Blue. And I think I'm going to do it with this tag. So this is how I tied these together. Put your ends together and then you wrap it around your finger and just make like a regular knot. And then you're going to bring it down so that the knot is closer to the hole. And then you're going to fray these just by untwisting them and pulling them apart. So if you twist the opposite direction, all of them at one time, you can unfray them all together. And it creates this fun little look. Just like that. I think it's the perfect little touch to these quick and easy treat pouches. So there's that one, and then let's do the same on this one. You do want to make sure that your tag goes on the opposite side of your seam. So this side here, the front does not have the seam. So these are, again, the 6-inch piece of trim. And the other ones had 8 inches. So you can kind of see the difference. If you want a big piece of ribbon, or if you want it to be a little bit smaller. Super cute. Okay, now I need to know in the comments, which tag is your favorite? So blue pumpkin is number 1. The branch is number 2. Then we've got the pumpkins and the bird is number 3. We have the stacked pumpkins, which is number 4. And then we have our little jack-o'-lantern, which is number 5. I would love to know which one is your favorite and if you'll be making some sour cream treat pouches for Halloween this year.
Handmade cards can come together so quick and easily when you have coordinating products, like this designer series paper from Stampin' Up. This is called Them Bones. There are 6 double-sided designs, and you get 2 of each sheet. So that is a total of 12 sheets in this pack of paper. They are 12 by 12, and you can see some of the patterns that I've used on my cards. So I'm using this paper here for the cute skeleton, and then this is the pattern in the background. And then I've just added it to some black cardstock. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. This card can come together really fast. So I've got my black cardstock here for my card base. It's just cut to 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some of that fun pattern paper. And this can just go right on in the center. And you can angle it if you want, or you can put it on nice and straight. So you want about even spacing on top and bottom. I love a little bit of vellum. This helps bring the focal point to the front of the card so it doesn't disappear in that fun background. So like I said, I cut out one of the skeletons from that designer series paper. We're going to pop that on to our card with some dimensionals. And I just want to put it on the right side of this vellum piece. You can get all of the dimensions for the paper below in the description or on my blog. I've also taken just a cute Halloween stamp. This one does come from that same stamp set that I used for the treat pouches, the Happy Halloween right there. And I did add some dimensionals to the back. I'm just going to slide that underneath my skeleton and try to put it on there nice and straight. Then I have some die cut leaves, and I got these from the Autumn Leaves die set, which bundles with the Autumn Leaves stamp set. So here's the stamp set, and then you can see those die cuts in there. So the die cuts, they do have some that cut out these nice big leaves, and then they have these little ones here. And I've just done the little ones. I'm going to add these with some glue dots to my card. Maybe add a large one over here on the right side with an orange one. I cut that red one from Cajun Craze. And then the yellows are cut from Crushed Curry. And the orange is Pumpkin Pie. So perfect fall colors. Once you have all that put together, you can add it to the front of your card. I'm going to use a little liquid glue behind my elements. You don't want the adhesive to show through the vellum. So make sure to add it behind everything, and then you can add it to your card. I'm going to actually lift this up. I'm going to separate these and add these again to my card. Those glue dots, if you pull carefully, you can remove them. So it's nice. So I want to make sure that this is on my card. I'm going to go ahead and just trim off this section here so that it fits on my card here. And then slide that leaf back under your skeleton so it looks something like this. And then if you want, you can add some embellishments. I'm going to use these classic matte dots in black. and just put them wherever you'd like. I'm going to keep them on the vellum so that you can see them a little bit better. And your card is all done. You will probably want to add a piece of white cardstock on the inside, or use a fun gel pen or something so that you can see a little note when you write it inside. Well, I hope you've enjoyed seeing these 2 fun projects that I've made for Halloween for the TGIF Challenges blog. If you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images on how I created these projects, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.